Bon Clay. He's silly. I'm sorry. And Sanji, their fight was funny. And I thought, I'm sorry. Hello and welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast, where we usually review the first volume of a brand new manga each week, but it's more done piece, which means that my name is Josh. Oh, come my way, Michaels. And today, as always, I am joined by...
Mehgan Vivi Perrine.
The Cody Father's Day Decker.
Oh!
That was really unexpected and really good, Cody. Thank you for being here.
What do you mean unexpected and good?
It was good, and I didn't expect it.
You didn't expect good?
I didn't expect it to be good. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of our Done Piece saga. Today we are going to be finishing Alabasta, covering part 2. That's going to be volumes 22 through 23, chapters 187 through 217. We're feeling a little under the weather, which is why Nolan isn't joining us today. Had to address that, had to get that out of the way. But now, to talk about the conclusion of Alabasta.
Oh, you guys got sick from that because the weather outside was frightful.
The weather outside was
frightful. Okay.
I feel festive, dude.
Yeah.
So
that did it.
You truly caught the Christmas spirit.
I've caught the Christmas spirit.
Oh, yeah.
I've come down with the holidays.
Yeah.
The holly jollies.
The jingles.
I'm a Grinch over
jingles.
here.
I've got jingles instead of shingles.
Which you do have.
A hat. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Jesus. Okay.
I think my brother did have it once, though.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, okay. So before we get into it, before we start unpacking these volumes, these chapters, it is the conclusion of an arc, and it is the arc at which I stopped reading. So anything beyond this is uncharted territory for me. So I'm very excited. Obviously, if you are familiar with my One Piece journey, I did do things the wrong way and went a little out of order. And so I do know, bits and pieces of where the story goes and where
you read it out of order.
Yeah, I've talked about it before, dude. I got a lot of flack for it.
As you should.
As I should, dude.
You should get a flak jacket.
Okay, I was a
Flak
young
Jacks.
kid. I was
some syrup and some spoiler syrup.
Apple Jacks.
Young kid. I was a young kid.
Cinnamon.
Okay, cinnamon, dude. Chill, bro. Keep it irie, dude. Yeah, dude, I was a young kid and I wanted to just hurry up and meet certain characters, and I was impatient, and I, jumped to their introductions, and so I'm familiar with one character specifically, their arc, who we haven't met yet, and who you all do not have even an inkling of. And I'm a better person, and I'm not going to even tell you anything about that person or who they are or what they look like.
I wouldn't say inkling. We don't have an inkling.
I don't think you have an inkling.
I know who's left.
Right. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I'm like, who's going to get introduced?
Yeah, well,
first?
Cody doesn't, okay?
I won't say anything.
Thank you, Mehgan.
Because I'm good.
And I'm getting better. So that's my out of order story. And I've learned my lesson, and I've I will never make the same mistake twice. But for the most part, everything past this is uncharted seas, uncharted territory.
Yeah. It's like I got to incorporate One Piece in it somehow. It still worked on its own, like the original phrase.
Uncharted territory, yeah.
Yeah. But that's also what they're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's okay. Mm-hmm. It is about One Piece. We got to get the seas.
You got to say the seas in there.
The sacred seas.
But how did you guys feel finishing this arc? How are you feeling? Just doing a check-in, an emotional check-in on the story so far, where you're at with the story so far. And then I'll talk about, how I feel and my feelings.
I did feel like these volumes went by faster than other ones.
Yeah.
It's also because it was a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
Almost entirely fighting.
Yeah.
Which you'll love when you have to read a lot of volumes because you're like, oh, cool. I can just look at, yep, they did hit him. Okay. You can rocket through them.
We've talked about it in previous episodes too. I think we can all appreciate a good fight when a fight is done well, but they're really hard to break down and spend a lot of time talking about because,
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're already like, yeah, the fights. I mean, that's in everything. Like, even in Berserk, you're like, yeah, a lot of fights happen. If we were gonna like separately be like, yeah, like the way they, you'd have to break down fights in a separate thing.
I mean, the only thing you could really take away, like, I think Sanji and Bon Clay's like initial fight, you can't really like take away anything. It's kind of just like they fight. But Nami and Zoro's fights, like there's something that does come from them, so that was cool to see. But and Sir Crocodile and Luffy's fight, of course, part 2. But I am happy it's just kind of wrapped up now. Like I'm happy to see where they go from here. Like Alabasta was cool. It just took a long time to get through. And I'm excited to see some new characters, new islands and stuff, because we did spend a lot of time with like Vivi and all these other characters.
Yeah. I was like, did the art get better, or did they just get more detailed?
I think it did just get more detailed because of the scale of this war. You're building to this climax of this war, and so I think you're just seeing rebel armies and royal armies, fighting, and the scale of all that mixed with the fact that there were some really great, spreads in this second half of this arc. I was really impressed by the art at a couple points throughout.
Still, I thought I was hoping for more Chopper.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of Chopper. I mean, in the last volume we did, which was like great, but
yeah, it is kind of interesting that and it's not necessarily a complaint, but that, you get this whole beautiful arc that sets up and introduces Chopper. And then Chopper has a great moment, when he's fighting the Baroque Works members with Usopp. But outside of that, like, he doesn't really get a lot of time to shine. And immediately coming off of the excitement of his introduction and him joining the crew, it was like it felt like a little bit of a tease, I guess.
Yeah, it's like I just feel this way every time a new crew member comes on, I guess, which is I'm like, oh, like I'm always like, I figured they would be in the story a little more after.
Yeah. The fight with him and Usopp was him, he just joined the crew and then was put into this crazy war type thing, where everyone's kind of fighting to the death, and he kind of proves his point. He proves his place in the team, but there wasn't a lot of him much besides that. It was cool for him to be like, I'm a pirate. It's
it's so great seeing the crew get back together after they've been separated for so long. We've talked about in previous episodes. I understand the need to separate them so that you can focus on specific characters, and I think that you were right. Zoro really did get a cool moment in his fight, and Nami, for the first time, I think, being a very, very great navigator, and at times even feeling like she was kind of the captain, keeping everybody in check for a lot of the time. It is cool to see her in this arc, at the end of this arc, step up in a different way and become like a fighter and hold her weight and pull her weight that way.
Yeah.
And it was also a really funny, and I think that for me, as far as highlights go.
Oh, with her. Yeah. I think that was the most fun I had.
Yeah. It was so fun. And just the idea of Usopp writing this instruction manual for this weapon was so funny to me. I love Usopp and I loved his fight, but again, in this second half, it is all about Sanji, Nami, Zoro, and Luffy to an extent. It was heartbreaking to seeing Vivi go. I think it was cool. We talked about in our part 1 episode, how much she's taught Luffy and how Luffy has sort of grown up a little bit or matured a little bit since knowing her. But we do get to see him kind of what I think a lot of us love about him is we do get to see him sort of, go up against this warlord of the sea, with everything stacked against him. And at every point, it feels like he's not gonna be victorious. And we do see him. He's sort of unforgiving, and he's sort of just he's unwilling to admit defeat for the sake of, if it means defending a friend. And so that is also cool to see.
I thought it was funny too. And I do mean not mockingly funny, but I thought it was just entertaining how Crocodile just loves holding people over the edge of buildings by their neck. It happened 3 times. And I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, so at the end it's gonna happen to him or something. 'Cause like that became the running joke to me. Was like every time it was like, and now you will die, and I, Crocodile, will see you in a while.
Yeah, I'll see you in a while because I'm Crocodile. And it is too. It's not a criticism necessarily, but it is something that is just like you always wonder. You see it in a lot of stories, but Crocodile like let Luffy live, whether by accident or on purpose, 3 times, I think. 3 separate times.
Yeah. So you're like, which is like when he's defeated, I'm like, well, he just gets one? Luffy lost like so many times.
No, he's like, I tried to kill you, and it's like, okay, the first time didn't work.
You definitely
So the next time he comes around, make sure.
Yeah, next. I mean,
that's
next time to get the poison hook.
Yeah.
You get one neck grab, cocky dismissal throw of a defeated foe. Mm-hmm. The second time, you don't get to be like, and now you will fall to your death.
Yeah, no.
And the third time, like, before he hits the ground.
Yeah.
Before he even hits the ground.
Also, I don't think falling from the ground. You should know that's not even going to affect that guy.
Yeah,
that's his whole thing. He's rubber, whereas you're sand.
Yeah, and you mummified him or whatever, but I mean, also
you just have to drink water.
Yeah, Crocodile. Yeah. You gotta be. You're wanting to be. You're a warlord of the sea. Okay, you're trying to take over this kingdom, and you don't notice that Luffy spit water into the sky, maybe on purpose. That doesn't cross your mind. Maybe on purpose he might have done that. It just seemed like Crocodile,
because he's got everything else figured out. Like he's like, oh, I have Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C.
Exactly.
So it's like
Plan C for Crocodile.
Plan C for Crocodile.
And that's the third one is always his most effective.
Yeah.
Which this time I'll hold him over an even taller building before I go like.
Yeah. And maybe instead of a ruler, he should have been a comedian because he likes to work in threes. You know what I mean? And so maybe he should try improv, or maybe now that he's like banished or whatever.
Yeah.
Stripped of his title.
Yeah. Luffy's like, you think you could defeat me? He's like, yes. And
oh, okay.
The improv
rule, golden rule.
Improvidile.
How do you do the fruit for improv?
Improvidile
was really good, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
I ate the improv fruit.
Improv?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And
or you could eat the laugh fruit, I guess.
Well, no, this is improv, so it wouldn't be the laugh fruit.
Oh, well, if it's improv, then why'd you just shut me down?
That's true.
He
got you.
Look, I thought it was a lot of fun, okay?
Yeah, kind of been.
And I
just destroyed right now.
Obliterated.
Yeah, you
got mummified.
What?
Yeah, dude, I sucked
all
all the
no.
Oh.
So what happened? No. What happened in this volume? What happened in this arc? How'd this arc end, guys?
A lot of fights, dude. And what I think I like about the fights is that we also got to see, what's important to Vivi and what's important, to her and being a ruler. And that moment of is she gonna go with them? Is she not gonna go with them? I mean, I guess if you know enough about the series, if you've seen it around, you've seen pictures around, you know that she doesn't. But was there a moment for either of you where you thought she was going to go with them? No,
but also I don't know enough. Like, I guess I'm like still at the beginning of the story.
Yeah,
but I don't know like the significance of like each crew member join, because I think that's like part of the issue when like someone joins and then they're like, now they're going to be a background character.
Yeah,
because I'm like, well, it's not like Chopper became the muscle and then like had like a significant impact on the dynamic.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
so when Vivi joined, I'm like, so like in the next arc, I'm kind of like, well, she's probably gonna like fall asleep when the fight happens.
Yeah, there's somebody else though at the very, very end, who looks like they're going to be replacing Vivi,
and
filling her shoes.
Yeah, that's what is it? 217.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, her name is 17 or
no?
217 is the chapter where she asks to join the crew, this mystery person. But yeah, that's why for me, when they all got back together, and again, I get why they need to be separated, but when they all got back together and they met at the clock tower, that moment, seeing them all together again and seeing how they bounce off each other, how they play off each other was so refreshing. And it was this moment of me, the reader, feeling like finally they're back together. Like, I appreciate all of them in different ways for different things, but seeing how Chopper reacts to, it's like a chain of reactions. It's a chain reaction. I've seen how Chopper, I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't, no, why'd you, that doesn't count as wordplay.
I liked it.
You said it's a chain of, that's what a chain reaction.
It's a chain reaction. And
that doesn't, no, you said it like it was a pun or something. That wasn't you just
true.
said what it was.
You said it's
some sort of chain of reactions,
I realized there was a better way to say it, and I was trying to rewrite history.
Yeah, it was like some sort of flock of seagulls. It was a flock of seagulls. Like what are you talking about?
No. It was a chain of reactions, and I was trying to
it's
tighten
a
it up and say,
chain reaction.
Yeah.
If you said it like a pun on chain reaction,
yes,
then you could have said it like that. But you said it like you did something.
They're trying to get.
If I would have said it the first time, it would have been something.
They're trying to get a rain reaction,
and that
in Alabasta.
Yeah,
that deserves going like,
Yeah, you're really the pun, Alabasta.
Damn, dude, you totally redeemed yourself.
Okay, good.
Damn.
But anyway, look.
Oh yeah,
seeing them all together and seeing how they play off each other. It's not just how they play off of each other. One plays off the other. It's how like one character will make the other character react, and the other character reacts to those two characters. And so like seeing them all together is really nice. And it just, I want to see more of that.
Yeah, this isn't a nitpick. It's just when like I just like this was like the final thing that made me like, oh, is this a thing these stories do? Because in My Hero, you'd always have people go like, you're so cool. You'd have like the villain go like, you're so cool, All Might, and I'm like, that's probably supposed to mean something different in Japan. But then I like they had it happen here too, so where like the villain goes like, you're so cool, and I'm like, are they making fun of them, or is that like does that phrase like mean? Because I'll see like
a rivalry thing.
Yeah, maybe
like they respect, like they respect the opponent. Opponent.
And My Hero loved doing that. Where you're like, All Might, like, when did you get so cool, Deck? I'm like, are you like calling him cool? I don't know. Cool doesn't feel like it.
Right. I mean, I guess cool is like a more PG way of saying like badass.
Yeah, like if it's yeah.
But are you saying Deku's telling All Might that? Or are you telling?
No, All Might would be like, when did you get so cool, Deku? I'm like, I don't know. Cool feels like a weird word, and it's especially shown when like cool. He like he broke the confines of time and space. I don't know if
that's pretty cool.
I don't know if that's. I mean, it's cool, but there's also like
it's pretty tight.
That's sick.
Yeah. When'd you get so sick, Deku?
That's cool.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and maybe in your head next time you read it, change the word up a little bit. Cool is like maybe a word that you could just kind of change out.
I would like
for other words
if they just put that in brackets and you're like. Replace it with whatever word you want. Like impressive.
It's not Mad Libs.
Well, I mean, could be.
Mad Libs. What is it? At some sort of political. Like liberals, libs, Mad Libs.
God.
I was trying to think of
that was a reach.
I was trying to think of some sort of like protest, but I don't know enough.
I thought you were talking about Mad Magazine for a second.
Well, yeah.
What's that?
See, you're pointing like that's what she was doing. Yet when it's brought up, she has no idea what Mad Magazine is. But Mad Magazine. You've heard of Mad Magazine before. Of course you have. It's a magazine.
Oh, is that the guy with the freckles and the orange hair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we should start going through it then and unpacking it. I don't know how much there is going to be for us to talk about necessarily. I do think that there are, like we mentioned, fights that do have a purpose and do show something, and specifically growth, and mean something on a larger scale. But some of them are just two strong dudes fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One also, have we made the Luffy Taffy joke? Have we done that before?
I don't think so.
Luffy Taffy,
like Laffy Taffy, but Luffy.
Like Luffy Taffy, yeah. I don't think so, but
so we'll do that joke at some point.
Yeah, we'll save it.
Also, where do you rank the fights in One Piece and like Shonen? Because like their fight, like I do find the character stuff much more entertaining than the fights.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for me personally, I think that in the world of One Piece, watching the fights happen is always fun and entertaining because it can get very dark, and it can get very like serious. The fights can get very I guess dramatic, can be very dramatic, but for the most part, I mean, you're watching these, and I mean this as a compliment, the absurdity of these devil fruit powers and the in tandem with the cartoony style that Oda has, a lot of times the fights are just like, they just feel fun. But in comparison to other shonen, I mean, I wouldn't say that they, at least at this point in the story, I know that there are probably fights that happen later that hold more weight. But for me, there's not a lot of like weight behind them necessarily.
Because I know someone who's like a fan of One Piece, and they're just like, any like good fights they tell me, I'm like, oh, like I have no idea what any of those words mean yet still. So like, I don't know if the fights like do pick up, but I think that's like the issue for me when they're like, because there's cartoon rules too. So I'm like, I don't know if this fight is serious or not.
Yeah, and there's, to me, I mean, I just think that there's other, like, there are so many fights, I think, that are always happening between so many different characters that I think it's hard to say, to pick which fights I want to compare to other shonen or them as a whole. But I think, like, even in the case of Luffy, I feel like there are things and moments where he gets across, like, who he is as a character better in some fights than he does other fights. Like this Crocodile fight, when he was screaming at Crocodile that he wasn't going to give up no matter what because Vivi was his friend, I felt like he had already had that moment. I felt like he had that moment in Drum Island, and I felt like it was executed a lot better. When he was holding up the flag, and then they shot the cannon at the flag, and then the smoke dissipated, and he was still holding it. And he says, like, this is why you can't shoot down. This is a symbol. It's unbreakable. Chopper, you're my friend. And Chopper's crying, and like he had that moment.
He gets like two more, like, I'll never give up before it starts becoming weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel about the?
Yeah, how do you feel about the fights compared?
I liked these two fights where like Zoro learned something in the fight and then applied it to the fight and then was able to win because of it. Same thing with Nami. Like navigating how to work the weapon, I thought was a cool way.
Yeah.
Oh, navigating. Was that on purpose?
Yeah, that was on purpose. But again, like Sanji and Bon Clay's fight, it was just like two guys who can kick. That's what I felt like.
Simp versus clown.
Simp versus clown. Yeah, it was played for comedy. Like their fight was definitely comedic, and then like the ending was even funny. So that was that. But I think a lot of the time, like you said, like Luffy already had that moment, or we see the same type of fight like happen again and again. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Sorry
Take your time.
if I sound a little sick. But anyway. I think that Luffy in every other fight is learning how to like be a better captain for his team. I guess he kind of says the same things, but through these fights he's able to grow stronger, so that's kind of what they need anyway.
Yeah.
But overall I did like the fights that happened between, like, I don't know if they were my favorite, but Zoro definitely, like that was like super badass.
I think there was like 4 fights with Luffy and Crocodile, and the one where Luffy is like, I have a water, but I'm like, oh, that's like an interesting. I think that was after, but like the other 3 fights, I'm like, like the last fight especially, sort of just like, and now it's his turn to win.
I liked the last fight because Luffy did kind of think outside of the box with the blood.
Yeah,
that was cool. I think that might take the climax of that fight mixed with the water barrel stuff. That was like for Luffy's fights.
I mean, and that's really a good observation too, and an interesting observation. I think if they would have combined those 2 moments and not have it like spread out over the course of these 3 fights, I think it would have maybe carried more weight. But it just, like, after seeing him fight Crocodile, get defeated, come back, fight again, like, and it wasn't even like that he was like really like training in the meantime or like learning in the meantime.
He's gonna do it again.
Like, he literally just like got knocked down and then got right back up and then went after him again.
He's never gonna keep him down.
Yeah.
And he got up again. Yeah. Never gonna keep him down. Yeah. But I think, and that's what I want to say, and I guess after hearing you say it too, Mehgan, it does like it does help me, I guess, express what I mean more clearly, which is just that, the fights are all different. Some are played for comedy, some are meant to be dramatic and hold more weight than others. But also, like, I end up liking fights that I wouldn't expect to really like. Like, I really, really, really like that Chopper and Usopp fight a lot. And it was probably my favorite fight in the entirety of Alabasta. Like, it was a really cool fight. And I go back to always what you said, Cody, I think in the beginning about like just really feeling connected or wanting to root for Usopp more because he is sort of just like the everyman. He isn't a guy with like devil fruit powers. He isn't a necessarily even strong guy. But watching him figure it out and watching his skull get cracked open and knowing what that means for him. Not that Zoro holding up a building isn't cool, but like
that's where it's like Usopp, he keeps being the highlight for fights because I'm like, well, there's stakes when Usopp fights. If Sanji can get kicked and knocked into a building, like he'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
I don't, and then eventually they sort of be like, oh, but he got kicked this time, he's not fine. I'm like,
or even Nami too. Like Nami fighting that lady, like I knew like if something happens to her, she's gonna be messed up. Like she's gonna probably die.
Yeah, that's why like I'm more interested in seeing the slingshot guy like struggle to avoid getting hit than I am like seeing like, a power clash.
Yeah, which is interesting. Like maybe, and again, there's something for everybody. So maybe there are people who really like that Luffy and Crocodile fight. But for me, the highlight was the Usopp Chopper fight.
And he's always in like a full body cast.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, it's cartoony, but also it's like, oh yeah, he's like injured.
Yeah, and it's funny, and I think, I don't know. And then after hearing you say that they, the combining of the fights, like, it does make me realize too that I guess I, and again, it's just how personally I feel about it. It makes me feel like, Oda needed the climax to happen between Luffy and Crocodile at the end of the arc, and his way of getting there was to just have Luffy try and try and try. But I just feel like it was, again, not to question a master, but I just feel like it could have been, there were other ways to maybe do it, I guess.
Yeah, I think that for sure through Luffy, it was like having to learn through each fight what techniques to apply to beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it did take a long time for him to eventually do it, but I'd rather have that than like, first fight, you're done.
No, yeah, and I think 100% you're right, and I do think that is like clear, but it also like, I don't know, like Luffy as a character, like, yeah, he is becoming more resourceful, but I don't know, it just like, I don't always get the sense, and maybe I'm not supposed to right now, I don't always get the sense like that he is necessarily learning. I get the sense that he's just
being told or stumbling upon.
Yeah, being told or stumbling upon. Yeah. And even in the case of like, Vivi and Vivi telling him like, you need to bow or you need to act like a captain. Like I do feel in that moment like, oh, Luffy, in this moment, Luffy's learning and he's actually changing. And when he's carrying Nami up the mountain in the Drum Island arc, and after Sanji told him like don't fight and he goes to fight but then stops himself, like it's in those moments that I feel like Luffy's growing and Luffy's learning and he's becoming a better captain. But in these Crocodile moments, it almost feels like Luffy's just like throwing stuff at the wall and some stuff just happens to work, and some stuff doesn't.
Yeah, I don't want to harp on it. I still feel like there's a lot. It mostly for Luffy, again, with Zoro, Nami, Usopp, like all those fights, I usually find more. I just feel like there's a very big lack of catharsis in Luffy fights because I don't even feel like he's like struggling to think of something.
Yeah,
I don't feel he's like what am I need to do? I need to coordinate my team. I need to do this.
Yeah.
He's all thinking. I mean, he's all fighting.
I keep forgetting he's the captain because I'm like, he doesn't direct any like.
Yeah.
Not the Batman or the who's the leader of the Justice League? They argue about that. I think.
I guess Superman.
Yeah,
Superman's the figurehead.
Okay, yeah. Then maybe Batman.
What about Wonder Woman?
I don't like Batman being the leader. That doesn't make sense.
What do you mean? What about Wonder Woman?
Why would she? Why are you even bringing?
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
What about her?
Why didn't you guys even mention that she would be the leader?
We're talking about who's the leader of the Justice League.
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Is she?
I think that there would just have to be some sort of vote. Like the Justice League would have to vote on it. And if they voted for
I think
her,
it's already true, though.
Okay.
Based on what?
She's strong.
She's strong. She's smart, and she has a whip to whip people back in shape.
So
it's a lasso.
It's a lasso. You're right. It's a lasso.
I guess by that logic, then Mehgan, you're right. She should be the leader because she's strong, she's smart, and she has a whip. It's a lasso. I again, this isn't to again question a master or to harp on anything or to overly criticize for the sake of criticism. It's just personally what characters I think we connect with and what fights we enjoy more. And I guess like I do feel like again, the short answer to your question is that there are so many fights in One Piece that some rank high, some rank low. And in comparison to other shonen fights, I'd put some of them up there, but I'd put some of them, not as high up there for sure. Because when I think of fights, I think of like, Naruto, and I think of some even fights I've seen in Bleach, and even like sort of the mental. I love when a fight can also, even in like, well, I also think of the My Hero, All for One, All Might fight, or One for All, or whatever. But then I think of even like some of the things I loved about Naruto was they have these abilities, but they're also using their heads, and they're also like, it's almost like they're also using their headbands, and they're solving like a puzzle as they're fighting.
I saw a clip from
Boruto.
Boruto.
And I saw that, I've never actually seen like clips of Naruto, and I saw them doing the finger thing and running with like doing the Naruto run. And I was like, that kind of looks cool.
It does look cool, dude.
I mean, everyone makes fun of the run, but he's holding knives, so that makes sense, actually.
It looks so cool. It just doesn't look cool when you're a high school kid doing it when you're running from class to class.
Yeah.
It's aerodynamic.
Oh, Josh.
There's other things you could do to make yourself more aerodynamic.
Like what?
Like what, yeah.
Like talking about...
Yeah, so going through it.
That's like the first volume of fights, right?
Yeah, that was like that. We covered the first volume.
Just like little details that were cool. Like I liked how Oda included the maps of where everyone was at. For sure. That was really cool.
I like his maps.
Yeah, their maps really, really detailed.
That does seem like a fun thing. Like, because I'm seeing people that like, oh, we can like we can have our game take place on this island. You have like everything drawn out for you.
Yeah, and if I guess we want to break down the fights, I think the first fight that we saw was Sanji versus Bon Clay, and I really do. I couldn't remember why when I first saw him again and when he was first introduced again, but I remember by the end of this, I love Bon Clay. Like I just like something about him. I love his character design is so absurd that I just can't help but love him.
How about Bon Clayface?
Sure, yeah.
His Clayface can change his appearance.
Yeah, You don't like him?
I mean, he did a lot of mean things. He impersonated the king, and it started a war, and it killed a lot of people. Like, he's not a good guy.
He's a pirate.
So there's
that's what I was
counterpoint
thinking, too. Because like towards the end, they're like, Bon Clay, he's our friend, and then Luffy's like, you're not our friend, and I'm like, that's true, because he did do a lot of bad things.
He did cause the death of a lot of innocents, but he does look silly.
Yeah,
but he looks silly doing it.
Yeah, that's what's weird.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you're gonna do that, which in a story or in Minecraft, I guess, then at least look silly when you do it.
Or he didn't even apologize.
John Wayne Gacy.
He didn't even say
no. He was scary, dude.
No, that's not.
But he looks silly doing it.
No, it's not silly. He looks scary.
I say John Wayne Gacy. I think it's just John Gacy.
No, I think it's Wayne.
Is it Wayne? That's pretty cool.
Okay,
it's John Wayne.
Pretty scary, dude.
Yeah. It's just you like characters like that who do horrible things.
I said in stories and I said in Minecraft.
Oh, Hisoka.
Yeah, he's scary, but he doesn't look silly, dude. But okay, Bon Clay looks silly. Hisoka doesn't look silly.
He looks silly.
He's got like
he looks awesome.
A heart eye drop and then a diamond thing, and he's got like really long nails.
So do people in prison, dude. They have hearts tattooed on their face and teardrops tattooed on their face.
How about that? You get a heart on your they're like, oh, why do you have all those hearts? He's like, it represents each time I had my heart broken. Ooh. So he has like instead of teardrops for death, it's like,
we should do that.
Yeah, they're like, you got 5 hearts on it? Yeah, that dude, you just cannot
How many would you have?
1.
It'd be a big one, though. Take up the whole side of your face. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway. Sorry.
Josh?
What? I'm sorry. Bon Clay. He's silly. I'm sorry. And Sanji, their fight was funny. And I thought, I'm sorry. And I thought it was a fun fight, but I also thought it was a fight that, I I didn't like as much as I liked other fights.
Definitely the breather to warm you up to the real tension of the fight.
To the fight train.
Yeah, on the fight train.
Yeah, on the fight train. I did like the end of the fights though. It's like, Sanji wins, Nami wins. Like it was pretty cool. I could hear it.
The video game announcer type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is fun. And it's like, that wasn't in earlier scenes. So I am starting to see, like, I'm assuming that's going to become the new trend as the series goes on.
I can finally say for the first time, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Sanji didn't really learn much. I mean, I think the result that came from this fight was just that, like, Bon Clay now sees Sanji as an equal or as a friend, and has more respect for Sanji, and that comes into play later on. But other than that, it was a pretty funny fight. But also, it just further reiterated that Sanji is Sanji, and
Sanji's
because Barclay will shift into Nami.
Bon Clay,
yeah.
And then Sanji will be like, oh, let me help you under, which it happens like 4 times.
Yeah.
He falls for it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
your favorite character?
It used to be, I think, when I was a kid, and I don't know why he was, but I think
because the more I learn about Sanji, the more I think it's really weird for that guy to be your favorite.
Well, I mean, I think when I was in high school, it makes sense that I would like him as a character. It tracks.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I get. Yeah,
I can see it.
But then when you reread it and you're a little older, you've been a little weathered. Then it's like, oh, I like, I like Zoro. I like Usopp. A lot. A lot. I even really like Buggy a lot too.
What
is with me and clowns?
Buggy. I don't know. You have something going on.
Yeah, you think about running for politics?
Oh,
okay, maybe.
That is weird. You love clowns.
Honk if you're clowny.
Okay, that's good.
All right, yeah.
Did you come up with that?
Honk, yeah.
That's good. That's solid.
Maybe get that on a sticker.
Yeah.
I like
Put that
clowns.
on my bumper.
I don't like the way you said bumper.
I know.
Bumper. Put that on, like, am I talking about my car? Or am I talking about my
your rear bumper?
Yeah, my rear bumper.
What rear bumper?
I don't know, just be careful around my exhaust pipe. If you know.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Don't say yes.
That's the ticket.
Watch out for the muffler.
Oh God.
Oh, what is that?
I don't want to.
What is the muffler in all of this?
You know what the muffler is.
Okay.
Dude.
Anyway, the other fight was Nami and Doublefinger. And simultaneously, this was cutting, I think, back and forth between Zoro and Mr. One, who had the devil fruit that allowed him to turn himself into a sword. And he had, his limbs could become blades. And Doublefinger, who her ability was just to become a
spike fruit.
But a spike fruit. But what did they keep calling a sea urchin?
Sea urchin spike.
Yeah.
Which they'll get you.
I've never.
They look just wild. The sea is like
I like
scary.
I don't like
it's outer space.
I don't like you see someone like fall into the water. You're like no.
It's a different world.
Yeah, you see that image where it just shows like the giant sea, and you just see like one body just like sinking in like a. I like the author's notes on like how the spike powers work. Like, why doesn't it rip her clothes off? And he was like, because this is for. This is. I liked him too. Going like, I mean, I couldn't have her on the cover doing that. Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be to buy? And I'm like, I get that, because some mangas you're like, why is if I had as an example with Goblin Slayer, a lot of the covers I'm like, why did you?
Yeah,
that's not. I mean, it's why I like it, but like, what about the guy fighting? Show the fighting. Don't show the.
Yeah, I think even Goblin Slayer Volume 1 it's just like Priestess, and she's just like laying across the cover.
Yeah,
and
Sus.
Yeah. And it's like, no, it's no horrible things happen to her.
That's why I like it.
Good God.
No, she peed herself.
She pees herself, and you should see what these goblins do.
Yeah. That's what means like in line. I don't want to embarrass myself by buying an ecchi manga, so I have to explain to the cashier, like, no, it's about.
Yeah, if you think that's bad, wait till you see what these goblins do. And actually, that's a conversation that I think you. Now that I'm saying it out loud, that I think you probably don't want to have.
You think so?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, their fight was cool because, I mean, let's just, I guess, focus on Nami's first. Like, Nami's fight was really fun and really cool because she's learning to fight for the first time, and she gets this climate baton that Usopp made her, and it was one of the, my favorite jokes, and the highlight of the first part was Chopper Usopp. The highlight of this might have been seeing her use that baton and Usopp's directions that he gave her, and how in the beginning it almost seems like Usopp was tasked with making her a weapon, but then made her just like this like party favor, this thing to use to entertain people at parties, or like some stage magician's wand or something. There's just like water shooting out of it, and there's like ducks coming out of it.
Was it a baton? I thought it was a clarinet or something.
Well, it is like a staff that breaks into 3 pieces.
Mm.
Yeah. And then she'll hold it like, she'll hold it like that, or she'll like, hold it in different shapes, and it'll cause it to do different things. From an engineering standpoint, I have no idea how it works. But it looks cool. And I think that, again, just constantly cutting to Usopp's directions just made it so hilarious. And she's doing her best. She gets pierced through the leg too. So she's not just like, she's not having the easiest time. But we also see her, how she, what I really like about it too is how she understands climate and weather, and how she's able to, whether it's the way Usopp intended this thing to be used or not, how she's able to really like.
Yeah, I don't think it was. She even says like he probably didn't even know what he was doing when he made this, or like this combination of things. But it does work to her advantage. Like she creates some like cool mirage type stuff, and that happens like twice. And even Miss Doublefinger is like, oh, okay, she's not just like a novice fighter, because she kind of like has that moment where she's like, I'm Nami, like I'm not afraid of you, like I got you, and she has like a cool like costume change. And
that was pretty tight though.
That was pretty sick.
Yeah.
And then she just realizes like, yeah, I've been fighting pirates like for years. I've been a thief for years. Like, of course I can put my mind to it and do it.
Yeah, and I guess that did make a lot more sense. Because she's been stealing from dangerous pirates her whole life since she was a kid. So it's like, yeah, she would be able to put up a decent fight.
And like dodge.
Yeah.
Like dodging super important, which she does a majority of. She doesn't do too much hand-on-hand combat because it is a devil fruit user. Like a regular person doesn't really stand a chance.
Yeah.
Without something to give them an edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But seeing her put all that together was really...
Oh, you have to sneeze. That's
Oh, no, fine.
You're getting worse.
Huh?
It sounds like it's...
Don't draw attention to it.
Seeing her piece all that together was a lot of fun, and seeing, the creativity behind the hot air, cold air, and just, again, creating these weather phenomena with this staff or baton was a really cool thing to see. And again, I think what we take from that fight is just that Nami is a very capable fighter now as well, when she's given the tools. And even without him, she can, pretty much dodge and think her way around a lot of, I think, problems. And then cutting back and forth between that and Zoro's fight. Zoro, I think, also had a really cool fight because he had a goal at the beginning and the end. And he realized that once Mr. One could basically turn to steel, he announced out loud that he couldn't cut through steel, but that by the end of this fight, he's like, it's going to suck for you because, by the end of this fight, like I will have learned how to cut steel, and that'll mean that you won't be around to see that, or to, I forgot exactly how he said it, but it was this very badass moment. And he also like toyed with him in a way that I thought was really cool. When he talked about when the enemy, Mr. One, had talked about how many, pirates or people that he had killed, he was like, you think I forgot exactly what he said, but he's like, you think I keep count, or why do you feel the need to tell me how many people? Like, I don't care. But it was just this way of like, okay, Zoro, all right. And he had a clear goal. And what was really cool, as well as that flashback during his fight.
Is that the one where he's like, the best sword is the one that doesn't cut at all?
Yeah, where his master, his sensei.
And he's like, after all that whole speech, he's like, then I'm gonna cut through everything. He's like, you didn't listen to anything.
You didn't get the metaphor.
You didn't get anything.
I did the whole it's because it's about protecting. If you can, it's better to not cut than to. So I need to be able to cut anything if I follow this strategy. Not what I said.
Yeah, it was beautiful though, dude. And the idea that because when you think about it, dude, when you think about it, like words are like swords, kind of.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, they're like swords, and it's really about like, because words can hurt. but words can also uplift.
That's true.
And, if you throw a piece of paper into the air and you say mean things to it, then sometimes it'll, it
Cut you?
It could cut you. It could like get torn to pieces. But if you...
What
are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm just saying that.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying that I thought it was beautiful because, yeah, dude, a swordsman, a sword in the hands of a professional swordsman
is worth 2 in the bush.
Is worth 2 in the bush?
A sword
What
in the
bush?
hand is worth 2 in the bush. The bush of life.
What bush?
There's only really one way I ever really use the word bush.
And I don't even like
And it's to talk about former President George Bush.
George W. Bush.
George W. Bush.
George Bush, not George W. Bush.
Yeah. Not George W. George Bush. His father. But I did think, all jokes aside, that it was a very beautiful speech. And even though Zoro didn't get it at all, as
At
a
the
kid
time.
or even as an adult, when he thought back on it, he was like, I don't really know what that meant. I did think it was a cool moment between him and his teacher, because yes, just the idea that a sword in the hands of anybody else is just a weapon, but it can also, in the hands of someone who knows how to use it, be something that it can protect loved ones, and it cuts what you want it to cut, which I did think was going to come into play when they had that like moment when they were like sort of like shimmying up the tower or whatever, when they were like tossing each other up, but he just turned the sword upside down, and I thought it was going to be this whole moment where he was like, oh, I learned how to not cut things.
No, yeah.
He was gonna, but he just flipped it around.
You have to be a little more payoff, yeah.
I did really think that's when it was all going to come back, but and we do see over the course of this fight something that I think is going to be really important as well, is he's learning that he can, whether he gets there through defeat or through just being beaten as bad as he was and cut as bad as he was and on the brink of death, that he can start to hear the breathing in the
Living
world around
things.
him, and even like it's
Inanimate objects.
inanimate objects, even in like
Yeah.
stone and things.
Yeah,
Which-
so Zoro, like, I don't know, he's on hallucinogenics or something. Right?
Well, I mean, it does remind me of like sort of
Yeah.
Toph from the Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know if you guys saw that show.
The most popular freaking cartoon in the world.
I
Well,
like
watch
Toph.
this. Watch this. Watch this. You see how you responded right now? Cody, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Mega, have you seen it?
no.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, are you a cringe bender? Because that's what you're doing right now.
I've only seen a couple episodes.
Oh, so you have seen it.
I've seen it, but I haven't watched it in order at all, and I have no idea what it is.
Have you learned nothing from my One Piece debacle? Well, and this is the first I'm hearing that you've watched any episodes at all.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Here's this.
I'm seeing it on Nickelodeon.
Okay.
Right?
What do you
Riders on
mean that's
Nickelodeon?
not true? This isn't the first time he's heard that you've watched it? Because he was really,
Yeah.
I've
like,
seen
depending on you never watching
I've
it.
seen
I
a
really was.
couple
I really was.
episodes here and there over the
This is
course
the first I'm
of
hearing of this.
23 years.
Yeah, I didn't say you were a super fan,
I'm not a super fan.
but you watched it. You watched a couple.
I would say maybe 3 tops.
So a few.
3 Toffs.
3
3 tops. I like Toph.
Yeah, Toph is cool when she
How
goes.
about toffee?
Toffee's
No.
good. Coffee, toffee.
I don't like it.
I
Like
like
'em both.
coffee. I don't like toffee. I like Toph though.
Toff, dude, when she goes
Coffee
into
ice
the-
cream is.
Coffee ice cream's great, Cody.
I don't know, man. It feels weird.
It's great. Toff, dude, when she's got the bare feet and when she's putting the feelers out, she can feel everything.
Yeah.
It felt like that's what Zoro was doing a little bit, or can do potentially a little.
Toph making that rock suit definitely set something in my mind.
That was cool though.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And when they can metal bend later.
Okay, literally like spoilers. Chill.
Okay, well, spoilers for Avatar Metal is an element.
Okay, well I didn't know that.
Okay.
It's been out for like 12 years.
Yeah, I know. But, like you're literally spoiling.
Josh was like well into his early 20s when it came out.
Sure. I mean, maybe I was, maybe I wasn't.
See, it's not even that far. It's not even. I didn't even exaggerate it enough.
Yeah. Yeah, you really, that's the part that hurts. But anyway, we see that at the end of this fight, yes, Zoro does get stronger. And even though he doesn't realize how to harness this ability, he knows that he's capable of it. And after that fight, he decides that he is going to work on being able to do that all the time. Because it feels like when he can do it, he is sort of unstoppable.
Sword of unstoppable.
Sword of unstoppable.
It's like constant breathing. What is it?
Total concentration breathing.
Total concentration breathing. Ultimate. I don't think they say ultimate.
Fifth form.
Culture.
This is Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. Demon.
Yes. Of which I'm a demon head now.
Nezuko.
Where'd you go?
Just gonna let that one sit there.
No. Let's move on now.
After that fight, what was
Winner, Zoro.
the next fight that we get into? I guess it is.
Oh, Zoro won. Yeah.
Between
the kicking claw force.
Oh, they kind of come.
They come and go.
They come and go, dude. And look, that's the thing, because it is about Luffy and Crocodile. Kind of after that, and there's a couple moments between Koza and
I think
Vivi, but
during this part, it's like Vivi, Crocodile, the King, this band. Who's the other guy? The bull cut.
Because there's the two,
the opera,
the
guy?
Jackal and the Falcon, Chaka and Pell.
Chaka.
Yeah,
Chaka's in this a lot.
And again, what we're shown here, and again, it is just a lot of action, a lot of payoffs through these like epic fights, and it is beautiful. But again, like, to really, I think what we love breaking down, and what is easier to break down, is story moments or character moments which exist here, and I think will be the focus of our conversation. But again, even with Luffy and Crocodile and their fight, and what's kind of happening between like Vivi and Koza and the King, like, it is all stuff that, like, we know that the King is a great ruler, and we know he's a strong ruler, and we know that Igaram is alive and he's back, and we know that Pell and Chaka are great and will do anything for their kingdom. And the fight between Luffy and Crocodile was, I think, after Cody said it, parts of each fight were great, but as fights themselves, I think there's really not much to unpack. They already reveal things that we know to be true about Luffy. So again, I just don't want anybody to feel like we're speeding through the fights. What happens, I think, narratively from a story side of things, is that there's something that Nico Robin, who has been revealed to be Nico Robin at this point, and Crocodile, I can finally stop getting chastised.
Well, unless anyone watches older episodes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But that there's something else that they're looking for, that they believe to be in Alabasta, that they believe the King is aware of, and it is this thing that is said to have been the knowledge of, and its location is hidden in Alabasta, and is passed down. Its secret is passed down from generation to generation, from king to king. So Crocodile sends a Nico Robin to go find this and take the King, and they go to this underground sort of temple.
Yeah, because she can translate it, because she knows how to read it, I guess.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. Something pendulum.
Yeah.
What is it called?
I'm going to be honest, I forgot what it's called, and I apologize.
Oh, I apologize too.
Pangolins?
No, not a pangolin, or plutonium. But in my head, it's sort of what I called it. But it's something, and it's not even, I don't even think, really revealed at this point in the story what it does.
No,
but it does.
It's something
seem to
like a
be,
mass destruction type
weapon.
Yeah.
It seems to be, in my mind, similar to the what is it called? The dance powder. That
ecstasy.
Well, that is dance powder. Yeah, that is. Yeah, well, it's more. Yeah, it's powder.
Depending on how you use it.
Exactly. But the chemical that causes rain.
Oh, rain.
Yeah. The chemical that causes rain. And so I think it's either a chemical, or I don't think it's necessarily a weapon, but I don't think we're supposed to know yet, and I think it's something that we're going to find out later. But we know, based on context clues, that it is dangerous if it falls into the wrong hands. Nico Robin is taken down.
Poneglyphs.
The poneglyph is the thing that they're
reading.
But what's the chemical called? Or what's the thing called? I think it's called something else. I could be wrong. But it turns out that she can't even read it. That she gets down there and it's
Pluton.
There
it
and I
is.
would see plutonium. I was kind of close.
Plutonium. Yeah, you were
really close.
Pluton. Yeah, they're trying to get it. Crocodile's trying to get it, and Robin's reading it. And she's like, "There's no sign of Pluton anywhere." And he's like, "Okay, well, we had a deal.
Yeah,
got to show me the Pluton.
Yeah,
to live on.
Yeah.
And then he tries to. Yeah, he kills her.
Or he tries.
Yeah,
he tries. Which is something that she anticipated and has contingencies for. We also really see, and what I think is really cool about all this too, is how powerful Robin is and her ability. And we see it later on too when Tashigi and the rest of the naval forces try to corner her, because she again has. This is a cool moment that we get to see too. Is the Navy or the naval forces sort of like decide, because Tashigi's been left in kind of temporary command, while Smoker is dealing with everything else that he's dealing with, that he tells her when he last left her to follow her heart and her own sense of like justice. And so she ends up like aiding the Straw Hats and aiding even Robin to an extent, because when they do find her and they try to capture her, she's able to use her devil fruit power to really incapacitate them. And not only that, but like when we see her again later and how, she's expecting Crocodile to turn on her. So she has this contingency in these vials of water that she can throw and then make a hand sprout on Crocodile's shoulder that will catch the water and then like throw it or open it and break it. I mean, it's just like, what can she not do? I mean, the amount of limbs that she can sprout or bloom seems endless. So you really realize when arms are sprouting out and ripping weapons out of people's hands and like turning other people's weapons from their waist, like using them, holding them against their throat. Like, what can't she do? She seems like she can't be beat. This Nico Robin.
Yeah, I have no idea what is like the rival to her power. Like, what devil fruit could be her like opposite that would stop her? Because
force fields.
Yeah,
force fields.
Force fruit.
Force.
Field.
I don't like
fruit.
the force fruit.
Yeah.
Okay. Force field fruit.
Not in today's climate. Not in any climate. Not in any time. Not in any world.
Field fruit then. How about that?
Field fruit is not
Field
fruit.
Field
fruit.
Shield.
The shield fruit.
Shield fruit.
Yeah. That could be her opposite, or that could be something that she'd have.
Or a gun.
The gun fruit.
Yeah.
Which we know that, I guess, guns could eat devil fruits now. We know that. That's real. That's a real thing.
We know that.
We know that now.
We have the information.
We have the information. We have the data.
We do. But yeah. So anyway, we see how strong she is and her ability, and I think how sort of OP it is. A One Piece it is.
And we know that she has a bounty on her since she's been like 8 years old.
And she's been a little kid.
Yeah, so.
And she's always, I guess, just been strong as hell. Since she was a little girl.
She's strong as hell.
It's strong as hell. With that cowboy hat on. So anyway, it's what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she is.
She is.
Okay. But yeah, so I feel bad speeding through the Crocodile Luffy fight, but
he loses 3 times and he wins the 4th one.
The badass moments were, I did like how Luffy was injured and he was like running around the town and he kept like falling, and then he like would wake up and be in and out because he was like pretty messed up. And I did like how when he like ran out of water, he couldn't get any water, and then the crocodile realizes like, oh, he's using his blood for like lubricant.
That was awesome.
Just like, oh shit,
and not not the first time it's been done, but
okay. Oh,
in the history of the world,
in the history of One Piece,
I would assume. I mean,
yeah,
for fighting.
Oh, for fighting, maybe.
Don't press him on it. Please don't press him on it. Make him say more. Please stop.
For fighting, maybe. But
no. I was starting to think that like it's probably not healthy how much I'm like, yeah, Luffy's injured. Good.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, good.
Yeah, dude. I mean, look. I mean, I don't want to say. I'm trying to be eloquent. I'm trying to be eloquent. I get it, Cody. I get it. Do I feel similarly? Not all the time,
but sometimes.
But I am just sometimes like, again, like, I really just did not feel the impact I think I was supposed to feel from this fight, from this finale, from the buildup, and from this like 7 warlord of the sea. I felt more emotional impact from the Drum Island fight than I felt in this. This really, truly, and again, I do love One Piece, and I love parts of it more than other parts. But this fight,
but the whole piece,
I love the whole piece.
But this one piece.
Yeah. It didn't have the emotional impact or hit me as much as I
cared about Vivi more than anyone else.
Me too.
That was happening. So I'm glad that
Crocodile.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I'm glad that she had her moment. I'm glad that everything wrapped up for her. That's what I think you were supposed to feel in those moments. It wasn't for Luffy. It wasn't for Nami. It wasn't for it was for Vivi. Everything that they did was for Vivi. So I think that's what was important. I wasn't disappointed at Luffy's fight because it wasn't for him. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it just goes to the fights seem less entertaining than especially because the main fight was Luffy, but it's the plot that got you interested wasn't.
Yeah, and I'm finding it kind of challenging to talk about too, because for me, the best parts are after all the fights, but it just feels like all these volumes were just full of fights. Like I love the aftermath moments.
Yeah, I
liked a lot.
Yeah, I liked during Crocodile and Luffy's fight, disarming the bomb.
Yeah.
For Vivi's trying to get everyone's attention because they're still fighting, and how she couldn't, or what was his name, Koza was gonna go down and tell them that to stop fighting or whatever, and that would cause more chaos, and then he does, and he gets shot. That was really cool. Everything that was happening outside of Luffy and Crocodile's fight felt more impactful to me. Especially how all the characters are working together to stop dismantle this thing, and that was cool.
Yeah, and like you said too, Crocodile reiterating to Vivi, which we already heard either him or someone else tell her before, is that you could just tell everybody that there's a bomb and save at least a couple thousand people, but by doing it the way you want to do it right now, by finding the bomb and by disarming it, or by telling people, or by doing it your way and wanting to save everybody, you're going to kill more people. But so we do really see Vivi's spirit put to the test, I guess, and her being unwavering and not wanting to take even that risk. If there's a possibility that she could save everyone, she is always going to choose that over the fact. So she's never going to say that she's never going to be an Osmondius and say I'll a few might die, but it'll be for the greater of Alabasta. It'll be for the great, because she knows that the people are Alabasta, which is why it was also cool when she was like, no, we could just blow this palace up. This palace is not Alabasta. Those people fighting down there are Alabasta. And seeing her, is she is the highlight of this arc. And seeing Luffy getting to be around her and pick up those parts of her personality and learn from her, that's the highlight of this arc. A lot of the Crocodile Luffy stuff was not the highlight of this arc for me. But the bomb thing was also a really cool moment and leads to, I think, an emotional moment where we find out that they're looking for the bomb everywhere, and they find it in the clock tower, which is where they used to hang out. Vivi and Koza used to have their secret headquarters, and when they get there, they realize that everybody's already there. And this is what I'm talking about when the gang gets back together, and their dynamic immediately when they get back together is Sanji's already they get to the base, and Sanji's up about halfway up, and they're like, Sanji, when'd you get here? It's well, Usopp left a note and told me to get here. And then you see Zoro, and he's even higher up. He's like, wait, how did you guys get here? And Zoro's like, I mean, they said north, and north is up, right? And it's just that joke and that dynamic and that banter. It's okay, now we're back, now this is it. And then the reveal that it was Mr. Seven and Miss Father's Day, who have
which I think is my favorite name for all these Mr. Mrs. people.
I liked it a lot too. Miss Father's Day. What's another obscure holiday that they could have, Miss Arbor Day, maybe?
Arbor Day is a good one.
Yeah.
Earth Day.
Flag Day.
Flag Day. Yeah, no one thinks
Flag Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Veterans Day would be, I think, a little too controversial. Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Veterans Day.
Miss Veterans Day.
What are their powers you don't want to?
Yeah, Miss Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Miss President's Day. Yeah.
Labor Day.
Miss Labor Day.
Any holidays you can think of?
Yeah, we're just pitching holidays now.
Children's Day.
Is there a Children's Day?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
The kids just need anything.
Maybe that's only in Japan.
Oh, there's a Children's Day in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
See, something about Japanese kids, though, I feel like Japanese kids are better than... I feel like Japanese kids are better than us. I really do feel that way. I feel like they're better than us.
Better than us?
Americans.
Like here?
Americans.
Oh.
You think Japanese children are better than Americans?
American children, yeah.
American children.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
We're not gonna comment.
And if that's wrong of me to say, then I'm sorry. But that's just how I feel.
Well, that's very nice.
But anyway, there's a countdown to get the bomb.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How are they going to get out of this situation?
How are they gonna get out?
They disarm. They Vivi cuts the fuse.
Oh.
She cuts it.
Oh.
But then but Cody, you thought that was it. It's not it.
It's not.
The bomb is also on an automatic timer.
Oh.
Auto detonate. Yeah.
Yeah, so Sir Crocodile knows everything.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got contingencies. But he doesn't know that he should just kill Luffy the first time.
Or the second.
Or the second, yeah.
Or the third.
Yeah.
Or that other guy. I feel like he had another person held up by their neck off a building.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, what's his name?
Oh, yeah, he did. He had a Chaka.
Chaka, yeah.
Yeah. Chaka.
Mm.
Who Chaka also survived, too.
Yeah.
Man, Crocodile's really bad at
It's his
killing
go-to
people.
finisher, but it's like it never works.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is he can he's so good at fights, and then it's like, okay, now just end it. He's like, okay, first we're gonna have to go up this building.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do my finale
Yeah.
against this person who has the the weight power, and you don't take fall damage.
Yeah, also, yeah, he's a zone type, so it's like you think I don't know, cut his head off. I mean, I don't want to see him die, but if I'm Crocodile and I got a hook for a hand, if I got a poison hook for a hand, I'm gonna use it all the time.
Yeah, because you're already gonna blow up a city.
Mm.
Yeah. Why are you phoning it in on the kills? All of a sudden, against the people who are probably going to pose the biggest threat to you later on.
Ring, ring. Oh, kill Luffy. He's phoning in the kill.
But then he goes like this, ring, ring, and he tries to do that joke, but then he forgot it was his hook hand, and then he poisons himself.
And then he dies.
In the
He dies.
face.
And that's where it's like, he was a victim of his hubris.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
That would have been crazy.
If he just stabbed himself in the face doing a bit, that would be cool. I would.
I love it.
I would respect it a lot if they had a guy just kill themselves.
Yeah.
I would love it, dude. Unironically, I would love it. So they realize the bomb's on an auto timer or auto detonate, and Pell, the Falcon. It's a very sweet moment. It's a very heartfelt moment. Comes in, grabs it with his talons, flies it up into the sky.
Yeah, he goes,
and
thank
sacrifices himself for the kingdom.
He does.
And that guy's really dead.
Yeah, that guy really died. He's gone.
That guy's not coming back.
Mm-mm.
I'll be honest. I kind of don't believe that.
Now, would I be 100% surprised if he did? I can't say that I would.
Legitimately, he could come back with that cartoon smoke on the face and be like, I had I was stranded for a month, but then I landed on an island and they healed me.
Mm.
I mean, Cody, you're not wrong, okay?
Who knows?
Who knows?
We won't know until we read it.
Comment below if the pelican is dead or not.
Falcon.
Pelican?
Yeah. You look like a fool.
Yeah, you Mr. Bird over here.
Yeah, you just your
Don't
whole
know your birds now?
your whole aviary is going to be coming after you now.
Don't even play around like that. Me and the bird squad. Oh, the flock. That's what you would call them.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say bird squad, but they have a term for groups of birds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was funny because someone was asking what Demon Slayer characters we would be, and someone said if Mehgan was a Nezuko and if I was a Tanjiro, who would Cody be? And I was really proud of myself because at the moment I was like, oh, he'd probably be one of the crows that come and give him the news. There's crows in Demon Slayer.
Oh, I don't think I got to the crow part.
But you would be a crow, and I just wanted to tell you face to face because I don't think you would be insulted by that, would you?
No, I love birds. I am a crows are awesome. Did you watch The Crow?
I did.
No, you didn't watch.
It's a good movie. It feels like it defined a lot of people's high school years.
I mean, it I think that popularized goth guys.
Yeah.
The crow, the dead guy comes back to life. And he has crow powers that have nothing to do with being a crow.
And was it
like a zombie?
Bruce Lee's son died on the set of that movie? Yeah. It was sad. It's very sad.
Yeah, it was for the crow.
For the crow, though, I know. Can you imagine? It's horrible. But of all the movies, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah. Like, why couldn't it have been like on the set of like Dallas Buyers Club or something that was going to win an Oscar?
Would the movie like that, would that require Bruce Lee's son to be in?
Maybe he could have had a range, dude, but we'll never know. He was taken from us too soon.
Dallas Buyers Club just had a kung fu fight in it.
He doesn't have to. Don't put him in that box, dude. Don't put him in that box.
That's what I want. I just want fights.
You do like fights. You do like fights. The One. You showed us a cool fight from that. Watch
The One Piece, which is what we're talking about.
Which is what we're talking about. And we're almost out. We're almost done. So it was the aftermath of the explosion and the bomb. Pel's dead. Vivi's able to rally everybody she's screaming from the clock tower. Stop fighting. And
no one can hear her now.
Yeah. But it's because of the rain. Similar to the sakura blossoms that fell on Drum Island, the rain falls in Alabasta, clears the smoke, the fogginess from not only the land, but the fogginess from the minds of the citizens.
Am I crazy to say that completely fell apart? Or did that hold up to you?
If I felt it fall apart. Like I wasn't, hopefully I at one point made it obvious that
it fell, but he was still holding it. You know, it's like if you let it fall and then it's just falling, it's worse.
It just crumbled in his hands.
Yeah, it crumbled in his hands, but he was still holding on to it.
Okay.
Which I can respect.
Yeah, thank you. But it's what really is the end of the war and the end of the fighting. And then you see everybody realize the kid comes back and he says, oh, the king is an imposter. And we see that the rain falls in Yuba, I think is where it's at. And we see Koza's dad being like, I told you.
3 years.
Yeah.
Only
which God
3
bless
years.
him, but also, he didn't do anything. But God bless him because he never gave up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Never stopped believing.
He never stopped
dug
believing.
holes.
So did Shia LaBeouf. But look at where he ended up.
He got the treasure at the end.
Yeah, but in life.
He made a movie recently.
I mean, he's still a millionaire.
Yeah, but I think some stuff came out about him too. He's
bad.
I think he's bad. Yeah.
Well, he did plagiarize.
Oh.
Well, I liked him until this news came out. That
I think I know what you're talking about.
Boyfriend
Yeah.
Physically abused this girl he was with. So we don't like that at all. But before I found out that was
sounds like he dug a hole in his heart.
That's what and it sounds like he needs to dig himself out of this hole by asking for forgiveness and growing as a person. But alas, it's the aftermath
Avast.
The end of Alabasta.
It's the end, and it's the aftermath.
That's a good closer.
And it's how everything comes together here. This is the peak. This is what I loved. This is what I want more of. More than fighting, more than all of these devil fruit users necessarily, which I think have been cool in previous arcs. But here, what I love is seeing the gang together, Vivi struggling with the decision of going with them or not going with them, Egram and the king, which the king wanted to spy on her. That was a little weird, right? Where we can all.
Oh yeah. Why would he give them that information?
Yeah, Egram's like, I'm not going to tell you where Vivi and Nami are bathing. Like, Vivi is the queen. or the princess. You can't see her. And the dad's like, I'll show you. And it was like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, is that they're doing the is that where he has the like jaw dropped like smiling face with his eyes bulging?
Probably, but
I like Chopper.
Oh, Chopper, yeah.
Chopper. Zoro is cleaning Chopper's back. That's cute.
It was very cute. It is cute. And it's kind of cool to see Chopper with the boys.
Yeah, Chopper's one of the boys.
Yeah, he's one of the boys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was weird because also the dad has like another moment later. Like Igrim goes in because he's like Igrim's having nightmares about like Vivi going to be a pirate.
Yeah.
And so he like wakes up and storms into the room that she's at because she's supposed to be getting ready for this like speech that she's supposed to give to the land after post-war. And it's like her quinceañera, basically.
Yeah, it's her quinceañera.
Yeah. She's coming into adulthood. And so Igrim like barges in and his wife is in there fitting her in her dress. And his wife says like, get out of here. Like Vivi, Vivi's changing. She could have been naked when you got in here. Like you got to knock. And she throws him out. And then you just see the dad in the hallway again with like a knot on his head. Like, yeah, your wife's kicked me out too. And it's like, what were you doing in there? Where is this coming from? You're the most gentle leader.
Yeah, I know.
You made so many calm, rational, important decisions.
Yeah, it's interesting how many times someone like peeping in on someone is considered like a rapscallion.
You funny guy, huh?
Yeah, it was really strange.
I like Terracotta.
Terracotta.
Is that a type of cheese?
Terracotta's the wife of Ingram.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terracotta's baller. She's like, I ain't gonna let this boy's appetite
Loved that.
beat me. And they're all like feeding them, and all the guards are like, oh, these guys are pigs, and like, oh, blah, blah, blah. They're just having a good time.
I love it, dude, because she took it like a challenge. She went into battle
Mm-hmm.
when Luffy was trying to out-eat her, or, not out-eat her, but, he was trying, like, he was saying, like, no one can satiate my appetite. And she was like, well, you never met Terracotta before. You know what I mean? Did you guys read it that way, the way I read it?
No.
What are you talking?
I just read it like it was an intense moment, where she went to battle and he went to battle.
Are you on Advil again?
Yeah, I think you are.
And battle,
I think you
the
are.
battlefield was the dinner table.
Well,
Yes.
a battlefield.
Okay, the dinner table is also a battlefield.
I'm kind
For
of
you?
hungry.
Yeah, I'm so hungry, and every time I sit down, I go to war with what I'm eating. Okay,
You go to war with the food.
you guys, I can make pancakes if you guys want.
I've been craving pancakes.
Have you really been craving pancakes?
Yeah.
I want like something hearty though.
Pancakes are savory.
No, those are sweet. First of all,
Okay, well, we'll figure it out.
I want,
Anyway,
hash browns.
Waffles. Waffles are the hearty pancake.
I like waffles.
more than pancakes?
Yes, everyone likes waffles.
Not,
If I
don't.
can get a
What?
waffle, I don't have a waffle maker. But if
Belgian
I had a
waffles.
waffle,
I love Belgian waffles. I think they're fantastic.
If I was a millionaire, I'd eat Belgian waffles and an omelet for breakfast.
I
Like,
was-
at least once a week.
you could.
I would eat pancakes every day.
Belgian waffles cost so much money.
Oh,
Put a little vanilla
speaking
in there.
of money,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Speaking
sorry.
of money, yeah.
we should
Uh,
eat before we do this.
yeah, we
Before
really
we
should.
record.
But after that,
But yeah, so it's just
Vivi-
it's that moment, and Vivi's like, Vivi's struggling, and it's a beautiful moment where she's laying in bed at night, and she's like laying in silence next to Karu, and Karu's asleep, and he's just snoring right there, and she's like, there's no chef, trying to protect his refrigerator from being raided. There's no swordsman training. There's no, there's no sounds of these pirates, these rapscallions keeping me awake at night. And she's just like in the silence of her own bedroom, and she realizes how much she misses the chaos of being on the merry-go with the Straw Hats, and also that she realizes being here in Alabasta, she's like, I'm not gonna be bored being the princess. Like, there's actually a lot of work to do. I mean, my kingdom was almost freaking blown up, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But on one hand, I really do miss them, and I miss going on adventures with them.
Well, yeah, because she didn't really have any I guess she had responsibilities, but not really. Kind of just going with the flow. Like,
Yeah, she was on an
doing a
adventure.
mission. Yeah,
Well, I mean, she was really trying to protect her kingdom.
yeah, that's where she was
And
trying
then
to
the
go.
adventure of a lifetime.
Yeah, what
Was
turned out to be.
prevent a bomb going off in your city.
Yeah. Yikes. But it was, and as a reader, I remember not reading it this time because I had already read it, but reading it the first time, I kind of really did want Vivi to go with them. I understand that she had a lot to do in Alabasta and she was needed there, but it was a moment they were like,
Should have made a pocket sand joke for Crocodile.
Pocket sand?
Oh, pocket sand. Yeah.
What
I thought
is that?
you would have gotten that. And
Yeah.
you know what pocket sand is?
Well, like when people fight with pocket sand.
Not when in I mean, not like a general thing, but when it happened in King of the Hill.
Oh no, I mean I think it happens in
Does it happen a lot?
in real life. Yeah. Pocket sand. Yeah.
What is that?
It's like when you get into a fight, you always carry sand in your pocket. So when you get in a fight, you can throw it in someone's eye. Yeah. Yeah, it's pockets. Yeah.
Yeah. I should have made. Yeah, should have brought it up with Crocodile.
Crocodile does look like he would also just, even if he didn't have that devil fruit power, he would have pockets.
That's what he did before he got the fruit.
That's exactly. That's yes. If the fruits like are destined to, like if you're destined to eat a specific fruit, that's why he ate that one. Which I don't even know if that's true or not. But if it is, that would make sense. But they're saying that they're gonna swing around and come back and get her. That the Navy and the naval forces are like closing in on them. They get a phone call from Bon Clay saying that he moved their ship. He took their ship because he's their friend now, and the Navy was going to find it, and they were going to be they were going to be taken prisoner. So he's helping them. If they are willing to help him, and it's this whole thing where they have to leave immediately. And there was that funny moment too, where like even the Navy's starting to like hound the castle and the guards. Like, you guys are keeping pirates in there. And they're like, no, we're not. Like, prove it. And then they come up the stairs and they're like, yeah, what's up? What's up? What's his name? What's up, Chaka? And he's like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm talking to the Navy right now. Yeah. What pirates are you talking about? But they realize that it's getting too hot and they got to leave. And so they tell Vivi, like, we don't have time for you to make up your mind. So we'll swing back around, but we can't even drop anchor. You got to just jump on if you want to come with us or not. And she's like, okay. So she gives her speech, and it's an emotional speech. And then we find out that and I liked this reveal that she's like Igram's dressed as her, where she's supposed to be giving this speech so that she could be in a different location by where the Straw Hats are going to be passing. So she could tell them goodbye in person because she isn't going to go. Mm-hmm. And that whole speech and everything leading up to it and that whole moment, beautiful. And I felt every moment of that.
Yeah, she's just like, tell me if we meet again that I'll be your team, shipmate. And then Luffy's like, yeah. And then Nami's like, don't even. Because the Navy are listening. Don't pay her any mind because then they'll know that we worked with her and we're friendly on friendly terms. So they kind of just like walk away and she just like, imagine like going through all of that with them and then they're just giving you the silent treatment being
they
like,
just go, all right.
Oh, wow.
They're like, mm.
Yeah. I think you have it going on going like, absolutely. And then someone
yeah.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
No, we don't like her. Yeah. And there's that awesome panel that ends the volume and it's just all them and they're just like that. And they just have their backs are turned, but they have they're holding up their X's. And it's a beautiful panel and it shows all of them and it is powerful. And I felt that. And it's those moments that I like about One Piece. It's when moments like that happen that I'm like, damn, this is what makes this story so great. Not when, Luffy and Crocodile are fighting for the third time.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, because mine's not as important.
Oh, I like the moment too with Nami. And she's like kind of bummed out. And they're like, I know you got close to Vivi. Like, I know you're probably going through it. And she's like, you know what? I'll just forget it. The billion berries that Ingram promised me. I'll just forget
awesome.
it. And they're like, you better forget it. It's so funny that she's only thinking about that.
Yeah. And then we find out that there's a stowaway that's been on the ship. And there's also a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes too that I feel like is going to be a little bit more important as the series goes on. But we also meet another character named Hina, who is another naval commander that is, I feel like a higher rank than Smoker or on an equal. They have a past, they have a history, and they have a little bit of a contentious relationship. But Smoker asks her and her crew for help to go commandeer Crocodile's ship that he was using to, disperse that powder or whatever that would stop the rain or whatever. So we find out that there's two shipmates or crewmates on that vessel that we are familiar with. Django is one of them, and Lieutenant Fullbody is the other one. And because of the chapter pages, we've seen kind of Django get to this point, and Fullbody, who was the guy who was in Baroque, the restaurant, or what's it, Barati, the Barati restaurant. I don't know. Sanji's restaurant. He was the guy with drinking the wine that had the fly in the soup.
Yeah.
That's Full Body. And so it's Full Body, and Django and Full Body has gotten an upgrade, and he's a lot stronger now. And and we also see their relationship with Hina, and their crew and their dynamic seems so fun, and I love them.
And we also find out that the like smoker and what is their name? Tashigi.
Or Tashigi?
Tashigi, yeah. They pretty much are like trying to tell the Navy, like, we didn't like beat Crocodile. Like the Straw Hats beat Crocodile. And they're like, yeah, but you guys beat them. And they're like, no, that's not what happened. Because they don't want like the truth to get out about the Straw Hats.
And the Straw Hats told Vivi that too in Alabasta. Like, she's like, I can't wait to, tell everybody what you've done and thank you guys. And they're like, Sanji, I think, said it. Like, you can't tell anybody that we did this.
We'll just
and
take
so
our meal.
You really realize, like, man, they're just doing it because they are just good people, or they have their own code that they're living by.
And we get a little wrap up on the camel.
Oh,
how
eyelashes.
He's like eyelashes. How he's like a candidate for the supersonic duck
that
squadron.
Was funny. I liked that
like,
a lot.
That's cool. They're like, he's like a special camel, and they're like, sure, right. It's just cute.
I like that a lot, and it was also kind of, I think, important to see Tashigi get emotional when she does have to take credit for what the Straw Hats did when she couldn't even do anything. And we see how that is like messing with her, and how that is like making her want to be stronger and motivating her. I think that's going to really be important moving forward. But back to the stowaway, it is, of course, Nico Robin is on the ship, and she is basically asking Luffy if she can join the crew.
And that's where we leave off.
And that's pretty much where the Alabasta arc ends.
Oh, then I read past that part.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
I got the numbers confused then.
What did you read?
I read, I guess, an extra 10 chapters.
10 chapters?
You read the whole volume.
Yeah.
Oh, you read the whole volume.
Oh, you should have read
I
the
thought
chapter
it felt, yeah. Well, I did. It said 226. 227.
No, it was
See, it's
17.
7. Oh, so it was
We
10.
wrote-
It was exactly 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because I think that if you are reading it by volume, then it does technically go into volume 24, but it's only the first chapter of volume 24.
Yeah.
Well, here's something fun. I have now read more One Piece than Josh has.
And me.
And Mehgan. So
and what a twist.
I have now become the One Piece second veteran.
What a twist, dude.
Where the what's the term for fate in One Piece? I don't know.
The hand is past one.
Yeah.
All right, dude, I like it.
And
what, Mehgan? What?
no, forget it.
Okay. And that's it. That's the end of the Alabasta arc. That is the conclusion of the epic Kingdom arc of Alabasta. There are, for me, highlights in this that I really love. Like I said, after this, I have no idea where the story goes.
A
couple of details of a certain specific crewmate, but
because I've been waiting to talk about that part, and then I'm like, I've been talking about these things too much, so I want to save it till the end. So it's like, great, because I avoided revealing.
And that was a happy accident, but also save it for the next episode. But I just think that, like, as this arc concludes, like, for me, I guess, like, what I feel like was supposed to be the standout moments, the highlights, weren't for me. And what I think were maybe supposed to be smaller moments were highlights to me. There were things that I really connected with, which I've said, and I'm not going to repeat for the 5th time, but certain fights and certain moments. But as a whole, the arc as a whole, I think was a very solid arc that I wasn't necessarily, the payoff and the aftermath, again, was something that I really enjoyed. But that big final battle, especially between Luffy and Crocodile, was a little anticlimactic for me, just in the way that it was it unfolded. But I do think that this arc had a lot of highlights and a lot of really important moments, and was really solid. I just think that Crocodile as a maybe a warlord or as a villain wasn't as I didn't take to him much as I did other villains, I guess.
Yeah, this might be the only time I've ever felt like I would enjoy this more if there were less fight scenes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Because if it was just the I've never had the thought like, oh, if it was just the political stuff going on and like the maneuvering,
yeah,
I would like more focus on that. I've never had that feeling before.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, again, as cool as it was to see them all break off and have their own fights, like it's so. And I guess you'll talk to other people, I'm sure, who will have different opinions, but it feels like some fights are just going to be better than other fights. So the other fights are just kind of getting through, and some fights are important and some fights, I don't know. It was a lot of fights. And especially in this back half, like it was a lot of fights. And that is something that I do enjoy. But yeah, I do feel like it was a little, maybe too much. I don't know. And again, it doesn't mean I don't like this arc. I think there's a lot to love and appreciate about this arc. But for me, that conclusion and some of those other moments stood out more to me. But what about you, Mehgan? How did you feel?
It was definitely more intense coming off of the Drum Island arc. I do prefer Drum Island just because
Same.
I feel like everything was wrapped up really nicely, and it was a good mix of like emotional and fighting. But I really did enjoy like seeing all of the Usopp Chopper was definitely a highlight, like we said. I like seeing Vivi's journey as a leader, and seeing how the Straw Hats were able to help her like end this civil war and Civil War, right? Yeah, that's the right.
Yeah, it was a civil war.
Yeah. And
what's so civil about war anyway?
Nothing at all. And it's a shame. But I do think
I am more excited to see where the story goes. I'm kind of like, okay, cool. Alabasta's done. Now we can move on. Not in a bad way, because I know a lot of people like this arc, but it did feel like
Drum Island and Arlong Park are my two favorites so far, up until this point.
Sarah Village.
I like Sarah Village.
Sarah Village was great, and I think it would be my third if it was a top
I
three.
can hear the sickness hitting your voice now too.
You can hear it a little bit?
Yeah.
I am down with the sickness. If it was like top three, it'd be maybe number 3 on my list. But Arlong Park, that Nami and her sister and her, her adoptive mother, that backstory, everything, awesome. That moment where Luffy puts the hat on her head, awesome. And then Drum Island, that whole arc, awesome. Alabasta's not in my top 3 arcs so far. Doesn't mean like, again, that it didn't have highlights, but it just didn't hit me as a whole as much as some of these other arcs did. But I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
Cody, you have anything else to add or that you want to say about this arc?
Yeah, I think I said everything. Yeah, there's just like that's that. I mean that's the thing too. When you go like I think like the Usopp situation, it kind of covers where it is just like, I mean I see writing that I like more in this story.
Yeah.
So like when I'm like, oh, I like Usopp, which is why I'm like, I don't like Luffy. But like in this world, that's because I know that the writer does stuff that I like.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like that the writer is capable of doing that and does do that, and the story, and that's sort of kind of what I felt as well. Is like, man, all the things that I love about this world and these characters and this writing, like there's so many parts to it, but the parts that I really love aren't being focused on right now. Like it is a lot of the fighting, which again is cool. Like I can take in doses and I can take sprinkled throughout, a story, but when they're like back to back to back to back to back to back to back for an entire second half of an arc,
especially when the world does operate under cartoon like physics and stuff. So I'm like, I mean like, oh, is this, I'm supposed to take this one seriously, but that one's the joke one. Yeah. And then when they get injured, this time it's serious, but now this time though it's a joke. So like whenever I see fights, I'm like, I don't go in expecting stakes anymore.
Yeah, it's it's something that I think also we are going to be better at navigating as we continue to read and get a better sense for as we continue to read. But I do think that I do have complete faith in the story that it's going to get so much better And I think, with even like fights being hit or miss, I think arcs are going to be hit or miss. And I think people are just going to like more arcs than other arcs. And that's just going to be how it is. And so like, even though again, like Alabasta wasn't my favorite, there were parts of it I really did like. And so I really hope that the next arc, and we even experienced this in Berserk. Like there was that point in Berserk, which again was like frustrating that people got like, and I understand, like we got comments from people saying like, oh, I was bummed out that you guys didn't like love this part. And it's like, but we immediately loved what came after that.
And like, that was the same issue, right? We were just like, we just came hot off of this. So when we go into this, it's not that like it was even bad. It's just like, well, we know the level it can be.
Exactly.
At. So when the author already set like standards.
Yeah. Yeah. And so again, I am genuinely so excited, especially because I don't know what's coming to go forward and to read what's next. But I think that's going to do it for our Done Piece Alabasta discussion, our part 2 discussion. Let us know how you feel about Alabasta, like how it ranks compared to other arcs. Obviously, keep it spoiler free, but yeah, let us know, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, what some of your favorite parts
spoiling
of it were.
something, joshing it.
No, we can't.
Workshop that in the comments.
We'll figure it out. Maybe something different.
Joshing alert.
Maybe something like spoiler alert or something.
No.
No. But yeah, let us know where this arc ranks for you. But that's gonna do it. Before we go, we have to thank our wonderful, beautiful, amazing, our Patreon members. Thank every single one of you guys. Yay. You guys are the best. It is because of you guys that we can keep talking about more series, doing more episodes, and really, dedicating more time to growing this channel. And we are so grateful for you guys, every single one of you. Thank you guys so much. Your support means the world to us. While we're talking about Patreon members, not only can you become a Patreon member, you can also become a member if you want to do that as well. You can not only go to patreon.com/volume1pod, but you can click join on this video, this very video, and get the same perks that you would be able to get on Patreon, in addition to getting some emotes, some badges, some things like that.
What are some of the perks of joining the Patreon?
Oh, Cody, I would think you would know, but in case you don't,
refresh me, friend.
In case you don't know, some of those perks, which you could get as a member or a Patreon member, are going to be early access to all of our videos and access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra, where we talk about other anime and manga, news, shows that we're watching. We talk about movies, video games, books, anything and everything that we want to talk about, we talk about on Volume 1 Extra. We just shared our Spotify 2021 rap list. It's a fun, laid back conversation. And if you like hearing us talk about these series, then you'll probably like that podcast as well. But of course, thank you to everybody, no matter how you show your support. And if you would like to become a Patreon member or a member, then all you have to do is go to patreon.com/volume1pod or click the join button on this very video. And if there's anything else you guys think that they could do.
Yeah, har har. Matey, it's the Patreon crew hat gang. No, not the Patreon. What I meant to say. The algorithm crew.
And if you join the algorithm gang, you just have to go to a video that we have.
Captain, you be saying. Oh yeah, that pirate is hard.
And you can go to. You can comment anything up. Period. Algorithm gang. To give us a tip. And help our algorithm.
Captain, are you saying that just by engaging with the YouTube channel, we get more money from the YouTube algorithm?
Aye.
Yo ho ho.
Yeah, dude.
And if you haven't already, we have a Volume 1 highlights channel with clips of different Volume 1 highlights. So go subscribe if you haven't.
Maybe share those. Be sharing the booty.
Share the booty. Yeah. But yes, thank you. No matter how you choose to show your support, even if it's by liking this video, even if it's by leaving a comment, or even if it's just by watching all the way to the very end, thank you so much. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and is never, not once, ever even changed. And today that outro is we did the see you later alligator. And we did the it been a while crocodile. We gotta go like
Hasta
la vista.
Alabasta la vista, baby.
Alabasta la vista. If you haven't said that at home, say that. Alabasta la vista. It's a fun thing to say.
All right, we're doing
Alabasta,
like it doesn't necessarily like, and I don't take this the wrong way. Like it doesn't sound great, but it feels nice to say. You know what I mean? Alabasta la vista. It's very funny.
You have a weird way of supporting things.
Yeah. You have to shut it down before giving it a compliment.
All right. Well, let's just say the outro.
All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
Alabasta la vista, baby.
Baby.
Did you say Alabasta?
I forgot what it was.
Alabasta la vista.
Alabasta la vista.
Not Alabasta, it's Arabasta.
Actually, if you look at the actual translation of this media,